Buddy.
Excuse me. Excuse me. We have an emergency. Our friend is hurt and we need help.
Oh
my God. What's wrong with him?
He's dead. That's what's wrong with him.
Use the gun.
Oh, God.
Gary's gun.
Where's others? Oh, God. Oh, my God. Try the head. Try the head.
Yeah, shoot him in the head. Shoot him in the head. Fuck. Battery's almost dead.
Yeah, that's not all.
What do you mean?
What is going on?
Jesus, a nurse.
Dead doctor, dead nurse. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Fucking hurry up. Gordo.
Jam.
Okay, I'm gonna try something. Not what? Get her attention. Just try and get her attention.
Come over here. Come over here. Here, come after me.
Careful, Deborah. Careful.
Shock advised.
Jesus. Oh, Christ.
Whoa. Those are hot. Put them back where you found them.
We gotta get her a doctor.
Yeah, a live one. Got it.
Let's go.
No, leave her here with me.
What, you're not coming with us?
I can't. I gotta plug in.
Leave it, let it charge.
I can't. I can't leave without the camera. The camera's the whole thing.
Getting help is the whole thing.
And welcome to the Ancient Slumber podcast, show number 27. My name is Chris Ward, and joining me for a chat is Myron Schmidt. How you doing, Myron?
Doing good, Chris. How are you?
I'm all right. Your face is a little paralysed, that end, I believe.
Yes, it is. So if I sound like a weirdo, I apologize.
You do sound like Rich Hall. It's really weird.
Well, I hope that's good.
It is good. I saw him live last year. He was very good.
Well, good. I'll take that sort of as a compliment, maybe.
I'll have to send you a link to some of his songs. You'll have to learn them and see if you sound like him. Because you do listen.
Without the British accent, of course.
Well, he is American.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, he's one of them Americans that's been over here a long time, so... Anyway. Right then, show 27. We're on the second part of our Romero, what do we call it? What's the word? Discography? Filmography? Filmography, there you go.
Retrospective?
Retrospective, yes. So last time we looked at the original groundbreaking trilogy, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead.
Yes, we did.
We did. So now we're looking at the second trilogy, Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, and Survival of the Dead.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be interesting because these were all first-time watches for you.
Yes. I thought I had seen Diary of the Dead, but in fact I watched Zombie Diaries.
Yeah. Okay, well, we might mention that when we get to it.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Maybe we shouldn't, no. Yeah, anyway, okay. Before we do that, have you bought anything recently?
I have.
What we been buying?
Picked up The Black Coat's Daughter, or as you know it, February, which is circling the top 2 or 3 for me currently right now.
Okay.
I know you lot got it released last year, but it just came out here, and I love that film. God, dog it, that's a good film.
Okay, not one I've seen.
You haven't seen February yet?
No.
Well, I think you might like it.
Oh, well, I'm just going to quickly look it up, actually, because...
Yeah, look it up. I genuinely think that you would like this one.
Black Coat's Daughter. Oh, okay. Directed by Oz Perkins. 2 girls battle a mysterious force. Okay, yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah, you should check your pound shop.
Oh, it's one of them, is it?
No, I don't think so. I'm just, that was a generic term for. I should have said you should check Asda. Be a better term.
Oh, right, okay. Well, Asda's a bit of a drive for me.
Yeah, I mean, I got mine at Walmart, so.
Okay, actually, I've just looked on Amazon, and Doesn't look like it got a UK release.
Really?
Yeah, there is a Region 2 disc available, but I believe it's European. Looking at the box.
I could have sworn you guys had a release.
Yeah, there's no UK release.
Well, kick me in the nuts. I thought you guys had a release.
No, it's an import from the Netherlands with an English soundtrack. So you can get it. It's 15 quid.
Interesting.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to pay that for it.
Also picked up John Wick 2.
Okay, I haven't seen any of them.
Yep, and Fantastic Beasts: Where to Find Them.
I haven't seen that.
You're an action guy. Well, it's a Harry Potter movie, so, you either have to, you're going to like it or...
I think my missus has got it, but I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, in terms of John Wick and John Wick 2, you're an action guy. You need to get on those. You need to get on those.
Keanu Reeves, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's sort of putting me off.
Don't let it.
Okay.
It's not, he actually acts in these movies, and maybe he was born just to play the, Arnold Schwarzenegger type of action hero, but they're both really, really, really good. I mean, not as good as The Raid, but I'll tell you what, they're up there with it.
Okay, that's the sort of thing. Are they on any streaming services, do you know? I don't suppose you'd know about UK Netflix, would you?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out. That's the sort of thing that if I see it on a streaming service, I'll probably pick it up and have a look.
Yeah, trust me, you will not be disappointed. I think the first one is a little better than the second one.
Yeah.
But the second one is wall-to-wall carnage.
Okay, I will add them to list.
Literally wall-to-wall carnage.
I put off watching Jack Reacher for ages because I thought I wouldn't like it, and then I did watch it
right.
and loved it. So,
if you like Jack Reacher, although I haven't seen it, but based on your description, I think you'll really, really like these.
Okay. Yeah, I should keep an eye out for those then. Anything else?
Nope. What about you?
I bought the Steelbook Blu-ray of Amityville Horror.
The original or the remake?
The original.
Ah.
Came out last week here via Second Sight Films. My full written review is on Flickering Myth right now. But, yeah, it's a really nice looking steelbook with a sort of red, shiny front on it, with the silhouette of the house, which is cool. You
know what? I think Blue posted a photo of her buying that.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, saying she just got a Blu-ray player.
That's it, yeah, because she bought that, because I tweeted when I was writing my review, and then she said, oh, well, like that film, and so I sent her the link to it, and she bought it. We've covered it on here before, so my opinion of it hasn't changed. It's one of them, it's a great nostalgic film, and you can see its influence on sort of the James Wan films of today, but
Sure.
It's not a great film in itself. It's quite slow, and I think it hangs on its lead actors a bit too much, but the extras are really good, and one of the extras is the My Amityville Horror documentary.
Really?
Yes, it's in the special features.
Hey, that's cool.
No, it is cool.
I mean, I have the DVD, but I don't think there was even a Blu-ray release over here.
No, because Arrow put it out over here on DVD a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And I never picked it up. I've got a review copy somewhere, but I never actually picked it up. And then, it's bought this Blu-ray and it's in the special features, so that's pretty cool.
Do they have, I hate to ask this stupid question, but do they have special features for the My Amityville?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just the documentary. Yeah, so with the inclusion of that, it makes the whole package feel like it's, what's the word?
Complete.
Like a complete package, you know?
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. So I would like to push for Blu-ray releases of the remake and Amityville 2, because we haven't got either of those over here.
Really? Okay.
No. So you know my love for Amityville 2, because I know you hate it.
Yes.
No, we need a Blu-ray of it. We want to see Burt Young and who's the priest guy? James Olsen. Oh, fantastic.
James Olsen falling down with the bugs. Yeah.
That's right, yeah. And the lad turning into like a rubber-faced Exorcist ripoff. Brilliant.
Oh, goodness gravy.
Love that film, but yeah. But yeah, so I got Amityville Horror on Blu-ray Steelbook.
Nice.
Can't think of anything else I've bought. I haven't bought much, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't either.
No, I've got some stuff coming up, though, in over the next month, because Logan's out here next week.
Ah, okay. Actually, I did buy Logan. I don't know if I mentioned that last time. I do have that one as well. Okay.
Yeah, that's out here next week, so I've pre-ordered that. Kong Skull Island's out here in about 3 weeks' time on Blu-ray.
I can actually get a digital copy right now if I wanted to.
Ah.
It's Voodoo over here, Walmart.
Yeah.
They will actually put out digital copies sometimes 2 and 3 weeks before the physical media comes out.
Okay. Is there a difference in the quality of the digital copy to a Blu-ray?
You can buy the SD, which is in 480, or you can actually buy the HDX, which is 1080 DPI.
Yeah.
So if you get the 1080, it's very comparable to a Blu-ray if you've got, not a little square TV
Good
or anything
telly,
like that. Yeah. Or something like a big or like an iPad or something that'll really pop.
Yeah, because that's Kong Skull Island's a film you need to see in proper HD.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I know I'll take some flack for this, but I actually enjoy the CGI crap fest that is Doctor Strange.
I haven't seen it.
And when I bought that one, I got the 480 instead of the whatever it is, instead of the HDX, and you can't tell.
Oh yeah.
It's I didn't think it would be as noticeable, but it's fairly noticeable on movies like that.
It's quite surprising, yeah, the amount of detail and depth perception and all that, it does change.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. So, nothing else?
Nope, nothing else.
Cool. Should we move on to some good, bad and ugly?
Yes, let's do that.
Right then. Give us your good.
So I subscribe to Shudder US over here, and I'm a big fan. I love it. I watched a Shudder exclusive called The Treatment.
Okay.
That I thought was very good. It's a Belgian film. It's a horror serial killer type of drama, but it was well done. Reading the subtitles didn't take away from it. It was very, very creepy and dark, and it was really good. I was surprised how good it was.
Is that the child abuse one?
Yes.
Ah, I'm dying to see that. Is it on Shudder?
Yes. Well, I think it's an exclusive, so you guys should have access to it too.
Okay, I'm going to look that one up. That's been on my watch list for a long time of DVD to pick up. Somebody recommended it to me.
Really?
Yes.
Well, then I will not say anything, and I'll be curious of your thoughts of the ending.
Oh, okay. If that's on Shudder UK, I might watch that tonight then, once we've done this. I shall look that one up. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good. I just kind of, okay, I'll just watch this one. And it was like, whoa, okay, yeah. It was very, very, very creepy. They showed enough to get the picture across.
Yeah.
It was not salacious or over the top, but it just made it like, oh, God, forget it. No, I don't, it'll make your skin crawl. At least it did mine.
Okay, yeah, I've heard lots of good things about it. So, yeah. So I'm trying to find it on here. It's not coming up on the UK one on here.
Oh, man.
Hang on, Shudder exclusive. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, they've still got 31 on there. Oh. No, it's not on the UK by the looks of it. Bollocks.
Oh, well, that's just shite.
That's bollocks, that is. Oh, well, maybe they will. I'll get onto them on Twitter.
I just kind of...
Because I'm so influential.
Yeah. I just kind of assumed when it had exclusive that it was just kind of a Shudder everywhere kind of thing.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think sometimes they do different US and UK ones, but maybe it's just a case of time and they'll put it on the... I think you may get things like that a little bit before us anyway, so...
Ah, okay.
I'll keep an eye out for that one, but I may just message them on Twitter and see if it's going to be a possibility. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I think you'll like that one.
Excellent. Yes, I've been looking forward to seeing that one, so good. Okay, my good is... Oh, it's an easy one, this one. Everyone loves this. It's Kickboxer.
Ah, yes. You cannot go wrong with that.
Yeah, it was Father's Day over here a couple of weeks ago, and my son got me the Kickboxer collection on Blu-ray.
Nice.
So I got the original Van Damme and the new version that's got Van Damme in it. That's the trainer.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
That's not very good. But the original Kickboxer it's just fucking brilliant.
Is that the movie where, that's where Van Damme fights drunk in a bar, right?
Yeah, and he starts dancing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got, it's not Bolo Young. It's the other.
No, that's Bloodsport you're thinking of. Tong Po.
Yeah, this is the Tong Po movie, right?
Tong Po, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it no matter how many times I've seen it, I must have seen it at least 50 times since it first came out, and it never gets boring.
No, it doesn't. It's one of those that when it's on TV, I'll watch it even though I've seen it about 50 times.
That's it, yeah. And it does look pretty good on Blu-ray as well. Surprising, actually.
Oh, I bet it is. Any good special features?
No, there's no special features on it. It's bare bones.
Oh.
Which is a shame, but...
yeah, that is a shame.
But no, yeah, just great film, great fighting film that doesn't seem to age at all, really.
Yeah. It's just a classic 80s movie.
Yeah, oh yeah, one of those that came out in the wake of Rocky IV, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as we know, that is the greatest film ever made. So, gonna copy the best.
Right. Oh, Rocky IV. What a movie.
Oh, you know, I think we should end up doing them one day. I know they're mainstream films, but fuck it, let's do it.
We can do whatever we want, can't we?
We can. We're not tied to anybody. We don't have sponsors to satisfy.
Nope.
Who the fucking sponsor this?
Exactly. And we always have that little cult tagline, so, you know.
Oh yeah, we're not just horror. We can do what we want.
Yeah, we can. We can do whatever we want. We could even talk about the movie Doctor Strange if we wanted to. Although we won't, but we could.
We could, but we don't want to. So.
Exactly.
There are enough people covering Marvel films out there.
Just because we can doesn't mean we should.
Exactly. And that's a good motto to live by.
Speaking of Marvel movies and DC movies, have you listened to the newest Strange and Deadly update?
I haven't listened to the update yet. It is on my iPod, but I get the gist of what's going on by everybody's messages.
I am very, very excited and thrilled for Tom and Chris to be doing something like that. I know they'll get back to Strange and Deadly, but to be honest, I can't wait to hear them talk about Marvel movie and hopefully some comics.
Oh, yeah. I knew they'd do something like that eventually. Anyway, they always talk about that sort of stuff anyway. So be great. Another subject for us to contact them and tell them they're wrong about. Why not? Even if they're right, I'll just tell them they're wrong. Just to be a pain in the arse.
Yeah. Well, they expect it from us.
Exactly. No, good on them. Good on them.
Exactly. Nonetheless, I am absolutely thrilled for those two guys. I love those guys. I love the Strange and Deadly show personally, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, fantastic. Always nice to hear them on the air, whatever they're talking about, really.
Exactly.
I think if you get to a point where you need to take a break because maybe the passion's not there for the subject matter or anything like that, then it does you good.
Yeah.
I'd rather they went away and came back with the rest of the Strange and Deadly stuff later on when they're a bit more fired up for it, rather than just hearing them go through the motions.
It's, and I mean, let's be honest, that Section 3 list is tough. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know lots of people who've covered all the video nasties in various forms, podcasts and written stuff and whatever. It's one of those things where you look at it at the beginning, you think, yeah, that'd be a brilliant idea. And you get halfway into it and you think, why the fuck did I do this?
Yeah. I mean, and that, the prosecuted list is bad enough, but that Section 3 list has got the shit of the shit. Oh my God, is it horrible.
Well, the trouble is, as we've said before, when you've got films like Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead and all these sorts of films on there that up the quality of the list perhaps, but everybody's spoken about them already. So there's nothing you can add to that conversation.
Right.
And then the other films that aren't up with that level of quality are shit and nobody wants to talk about them anyway. So you're sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't, really.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's always great to bring a fresh perspective and say if you're not fired up for it, then take a break and come back to it when you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. Right then, move on. Something bad for us.
So I went on a Brad Anderson kick lately.
No one's ever said that in their life.
Probably. I did not.
People have said Brad Anderson and kick in the same sentence, but not in the way you just said it.
I loved Session 9.
I know you do. I heard your feedback on Duncan's show.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I love that movie. So anyways, I'm reusing due to my lack of movie watching. And the bad one is the Halle Berry film, The Call. Okay,
I haven't seen that.
Don't.
Okay.
It is what it is. You watch it, you eat popcorn, but, it's even the ending is not that satisfying. I mean, yeah, it's a revenge ending. Okay, we get it, but it's so far out in left field. It's just no. Forget about it.
Okay. I'm not that versed in Brad Anderson, if I'm honest. I've seen Session 9.
Yes.
And I don't like it. I'll be straight up. I just don't like it. But I did like Trans-Siberian.
That was good.
Yeah, I do like that one. That is a really good one.
I really like that one. I wasn't impressed with Woody Harrelson though, but I really enjoyed that Trans-Siberian.
No, I thought he was fine in it. I haven't seen The Machinist. I have got it somewhere, but I've never watched it.
I think you might like it.
Yeah, but they're about the only 3 films that I've seen of his, or I know of his. So.
The Machinist is personally a step down from The Jacket in terms of the lead actor.
Yeah.
Oh, no, different actor. Never mind. I'm shutting up.
Okay.
The Jacket is Adrian Brody, and this is Kristen Bale.
Oh, much of a muchness, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, okay.
I'd rather Christian Bale than Adrian Brody, but only just.
You know what? It wasn't bad, but it wasn't stupendous. It's not like I loved that movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. That's about it.
Okay. All right. So, but The Call's not very good.
No, I would skip that one.
Okie dokie. I will.
Trust a few minutes in, and you'll be like, okay, I know where the movie's going to go. I know about how it's going to end. Do I really want to invest the time to get there?
Yeah. Are they going to make me want to stay with it or not?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the truth. You watch the start of the movie, you go, okay, got it. I know where it's going to end. Got it. Do I want to get there?
Yeah. See, the fact that Halle Berry's in it just puts me off for a start anyway.
She's not bad. I mean, but yeah, it's.
Yeah. All right.
Take a hard pass.
Okie dokie. I will. Right then. My bad is Return to House on Haunted Hill.
Really?
Yes.
What? Why is that bad?
Because it's shit.
All right. How about something a little more elaborate on its shitness?
Okay. I quite like the remake of House on Haunted Hill, the one with Jeffrey Rush. It's not brilliant, but I quite enjoy it. I love the original.
Yep.
And I think with the remake, at least they tried. They tried to capture some of that again, and some of it worked, and it's quite enjoyable. This sequel, which came about 7 or 8 years later, I think. Why? You've got Jeffrey Combs in it, and he's in the remake. He's in this one. Again, he doesn't say anything. If you look at the remake of House on Haunted Hill, there was that subplot of the whole Jeffrey Combs character, and he's the source of the evil and the mad doctor and all that sort of stuff. And this sequel is, you can tell it's supposed to capitalise on that and sort of tell that story, and it never does. It never does.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's only 77 minutes long. There's lots of nudity and violence in it, which is normally 2 very big selling points for me.
Right.
But you're watching it thinking, why is she taking her clothes off? She doesn't need to. I'm glad she did, but
Hang on. Okay, all right. I was just going to say, now let's not get blasphemous here. We don't question those things.
No. It's like I say, I'm glad she did it. Because it livened the film up a bit, but then in the next scene, there's just something else happening, and none of it relates to anything. It's gorier than The House on Haunted Hill, but again, it doesn't need to be because there's no story element to it. When you can see that the idea of it is you're exploring this story about this mad doctor character, but it just doesn't. It's people turn up to the house again, more people walk around, more people get killed. That's it.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. And it's just, it's crap. Had it come out maybe in sort of a year after the remake and, in 2001, 2002, and you look at it, it feels like one of those types of films, but it came out in 2007, Saw was halfway through its cycle by this time, and it did the whole sort of gory torture porn thing a lot better.
Gotcha.
It feels like they're trying to compete with the Saw films, but they're also trying to compete with the Scream audience, and they're just not getting it right at all.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, when you made that remark about the sex scene, all I thought about that came to my mind was the Ninja 3 Domination. Is that the one with the Brillo pad and the Coke?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll take that over Return to House on Haunted Hill. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for gratuitous nudity. Absolutely love it. But when that is all you've got in a film that's potentially got a good story to it, it's, Wasted opportunity. You know, I could YouTube them clips of bare breasts and bums going up and down, and that's fine. So I don't need to spend a whole hour and a half or whatever watching it.
Yes.
Not that I've ever needed an hour and a half anyway. Just a couple of minutes to do me. But there we go.
Wow, does it last that long?
Well, I've got to take my jeans off and stuff. Fold them nicely, put them on the chair, that sort of thing.
Got it. Got it.
Right, what's your ugly?
Another Brad Anderson one. This one is called Vanishing on 7th. I think it's Street or Avenue. I can't remember off the top of my head. 7th Street.
Yeah.
The ending of the movie did it. It had a great build up. It was awesome. Had, shadow people and people disappearing and melting out of their clothes. But the ending, like I said before, I compared it to the ending in, that Marky Mark fiasco called The Happening.
Yeah. When you go, what was the point of all that?
Yeah. Even worse than the Marky Mark fiasco. This one just came to mind is the horrific Nicolas Cage, The Knowing.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
when
terrible movie.
Called The Knowing, but nobody actually knew. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Least of all the writer.
Yeah, and this ending is on par with those endings where it's just like, the fuck are you doing?
Things happen and then it just sort of ends and you go, what the fuck was that all about then?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, too many of them around, isn't there?
Yep, the director decided, let me just phone the ending in and we'll be good.
Yeah, and they think they're being arty and clever and mysterious, and you're not. Your budget
Yep.
ran out, or your writer didn't do an ending, and you don't know what to do. That's basically
right.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okie dokie.
And it made it really disappointing because up until that point, it was very, very good. But then it starts to get worse and worse, and you're like, oh, come on, guys, you can do it. But yeah. What about you? Go on with an ugly.
Mine is a film. Yeah, it's got a different title in the US. In the UK, it's called Snowtown.
Is it the Snowtown Murders?
Yes.
In Australia?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Here it's called the Snowtown Murders.
Yeah, over here it's just called Snowtown. Yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter tweet about this. They were talking. There's a film coming out this year from Australia, and I forget what it's called. And this person had seen it, and they tweeted, "The best Australian horror film since Snowtown." And I thought, what's Snowtown? I haven't heard of that. So I looked it up. It was very cheap on Amazon, so I bought it on DVD.
I'm sorry.
I thought it was great.
Really?
I thought it was a great film, but I'm putting it in ugly because it's not an easy film to watch.
In what way?
It's very comparable to Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a film it's disturbing, it's grotty, it's grimy, it's full of horrible characters, but the story is so engrossing, it just kept me there. But yeah, I put it in ugly basically because it's a very grimy film to watch.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
So that's why I put it in there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I did like it. It ends about 20 minutes before the actual film finishes, which is a shame. Because it sort of builds to a crescendo, and then you get this sort of ending. You think, okay. And then there's about another 20 minutes to go where they're sort of wrapping things up.
It's almost like they should have done an epilogue. Because
yeah,
I'm thinking back now, and I kind of know what you're saying.
Yeah. If Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer is your type of film, or Deranged, or any of those type of really grimy serial killer type films, then
yes,
you'll have a good time with Snowtown. It is a really, really good watch. But it's just not a pleasant film to watch. Very uncomfortable in places.
I watched a serial killer movie called Children of Sorrow.
Okay.
And it was well, you won't. It's a found footage. And I absolutely loved the story. Story was top flight. The execution of the movie was actually pretty good. I kind of wished, and I hate to say this about actors and actresses, because, I mean, they work hard, but the actor just didn't capture the essence of evil that he should have.
Right.
Or could have, or they should have. This one has got a very, very kind of almost Poughkeepsie Tapes vibe, but it's certainly not in that league.
Okay.
But it was decent. And I'll go back to your comment about gratuitous nudity. So this one had the lead character was running around his office naked, shutting his member in desk drawers.
Well, we've all done it.
Well, have we?
Okay, maybe we haven't.
That kind of gratuitous nudity, I can I could do without. I could do without the floppy cocks being shut in desk drawers.
Yeah, okay.
I'm okay with missing that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of gratuitous nudity in Snowtown, but and it is male nudity as well. It does sort of feed into the early part of the story, though, so you can see what's there.
Oh, God, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
How do you compare Snowtown to Eden Lake?
Yeah, I see what you're getting at.
It's very much the same kind of style cast of characters, just in different settings.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose every country's got that sort of social group, what you would call rednecks, we would call chavs, that type of thing. Yeah.
Yep.
And I suppose Australia's no different, so yeah, I get that. Yeah, I guess every country's got them, so. Yeah, but I expect on Snowtown, they're obviously going for a realism vibe in the way that it's shot and the way that it's filmed.
Yes.
Rather than Eden Lake, which is obviously staged. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose Snowtown's a bit harder hitting on that level.
Well, I mean, it's a true story, too, so.
Yeah. And, the guy who plays the main serial killer, I can't remember the actor's name, but, he's really, really good. He manages to be unsettling without actually doing much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He's got that perfect appearance to play that character.
Yeah, because he looks perfectly like an everyday, normal sort of guy, which I suppose a lot of serial killers do look like, which is sort of the point, really. But,
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's a great film. It's a really, really good film. But yeah, very ugly, very disturbing, very grimy and grubby, and you feel like you need to have a shower afterwards. Or even during.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else then?
No, I think we're good.
I think we're good. Shall we move on to our main features?
Let's do it.
Let's play a trailer for Land of the Dead.
The world as we know it
They must be destroyed.
is no more.
Cities are under siege.
The land of the living has become
Feeding on human flesh.
the land of the dead.
If these creatures ever develop the power to think, to reason,
We're all dead.
In one last outpost,
It was my ingenuity that took an old world and made it into something new.
we have survived.
Rivers protect us on two sides,
I put up the fences to make it safe.
and these fences go all the way across?
both ways.
But if the living can adapt,
Things are changing. These guys are not just walking.
so can the dead.
It's like they're pretending to be alive.
They're mindless walking corpses. They'll never get across the river.
They're moving toward the city.
There's nothing there, man.
They're communicating. They're thinking. We're going back to see if we can help. Trouble?
In a world where the dead are returning to life, the word trouble loses much of its meaning.
We're running out of time.
George A. Romero's Land of the Dead.
Zombies, man. They creep me out.
Right then, Land of the Dead, 2005.
Exactly.
Oh yes, directed by George A. Romero, starring Simon Baker, John Leguizamo, Dennis Hopper, Asia Argento, Robert Joy, and Eugene Clark, and a special appearance from Tom Savini.
Yes.
Of course.
Oh,
Right.
I love Tom Savini.
Synopsis? You got one, or shall I do it?
Why don't you do it?
I'll do it. The living dead have taken over the world, and the last humans live in a walled city to protect themselves as they come to grips with the situation. Ooh.
Exactly. Ooh is right.
Right, this is your first watch. I saw this in the cinema when it came out.
You did?
I did, and I think it was either this or Diary. There was only me in there.
Okay. Or both.
No, one of them, there was one other person in there. Actually, no,
Okay.
It may be this one. It may be this. There was me and one other person in there.
Okay.
Yeah, this came out around the same time as the Dawn of the Dead remake over here.
Okay.
And Shaun of the Dead as well. So they all sort of hit around the same, within a year of each other.
Gotcha.
So, and I think Land of the Dead got a little bit lost.
I bet this one was really quite good on the big screen.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I thought it was great. When the opening credit, you got the old style Universal logo started up.
Yep,
And then it went into that whole sort of, it gives you a bit of exposition over the credits with a bit of backstory, with news reports and that type of thing. And it was really sort of dark and grimy, very much like the films of the day, but still tapping into what Romero did on Day of the Dead. So loved that. Fantastic. Really stoked for it. And then the film started properly.
Yes.
And over to you. What did you think?
The first thing I noticed about this was in my mind, a big tonal change from Day of the Dead to Land of the Dead.
Yeah.
Day of the Dead was kind of almost that end of the 80s goofiness. I don't know how else to describe it. Kind of that over the top.
I still don't get how you think Day of the Dead's goofy.
But with this one, just went right into the dark, atmospheric, more straightforward kind of movies, and I really enjoyed this one. I really, really liked this one. It was, the whole class, poor versus rich, that was okay. But what I found the most fascinating part of this movie was the fact that in the midst of the apocalypse, a group of people placed that much emphasis on money. I thought that was just, they're worried about money. And I'm like, what money? Who the hell cares? But I thought that was really, really, I loved that aspect of the movie.
Yeah, it's worth saying that Romero wrote this with the whole Bush administration in mind.
Yeah. I mean, you can absolutely tell that.
And ironically, I think since Trump's come to power, it's probably even more relevant.
Yes, it absolutely is.
Yeah, I get more of a Trump vibe from Dennis Hopper's character than I do a Bush vibe.
Oh, God. I mean, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So, in that respect, I guess Romero was pretty much on the nose. He still had that sort of biting satire edge to him. Yep.
And I loved that super camper that they were in. What did they call it?
Dead Reckoning.
Thank you.
that was the original title of the film.
Ah, okay. But I absolutely love the name that they named this super weapon, if you will.
Okay.
But I thought the acting was great. I loved John Leguizamo in that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did an absolutely fantastic job. All the characters I thought did really well. I mean, it's a well acted, well put together film in my mind.
Okay. Right. So you like it then?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me put my bit in then.
Oh God. You're gonna hate it.
I like this film.
Well, that was said with trepidation.
But I don't love it.
Really?
I've got niggles.
I am in shock.
Yeah, I've got niggles with this
Someone
film.
get my heart pills. Really?
Yeah, I like this film. I like the fact that it is pretty much a straightforward zombie film.
Yes.
I think what hampers it is the fact that it came out, like I said, around the time of Dawn of the Dead and Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead obviously was more mainstream and lots of people picked up on it. And Dawn of the Dead was, again, people suddenly flocked onto zombie films and that did really well. And I think Land of the Dead got slightly forgotten. It is worth mentioning that this is a studio film, and this is the only one of the series that is a studio film.
It really?
Yes, Romero famously doesn't work within the Hollywood system, well, very often anyway. And I think I would be right in saying that his initial budget got slashed on this, like it did on Day of the Dead as well. So that's why this film looks quite glossy compared to the rest.
It is the most polished of all of his movies.
Yeah, it's a studio product. It's Universal who funded this one. So
does that detract for you?
No, not really, because I think the material's fairly strong. I think it's strong enough to get it through. And I think if this had been made by an up-and-coming filmmaker, or anybody who wasn't George Romero, I'd maybe write it higher. I think the fact that it comes off the back of Dawn and Day, I just don't think it's quite there. I don't know why. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
I like it. I think maybe it does feel a little bit mainstream compared to the others. The CGI effects don't really help.
Yeah, I can get that. I understand that.
I think when this film is good, it is very good. Like you said, Leguizamo is good in this. I like his character. Simon Baker as the lead, I think, is fucking terrible. I think he's bland, he's boring. I don't think he quite knows what he's doing. I think with these films, you've either got to really underplay it or you've got to really overplay it. There's no middle ground.
Right.
Like with Day of the Dead, Joe Pilato goes for broke, whereas the lead actress in that, she really underplays it and it works for her character, and that works for that film. And I think in this film, Leguizamo goes for over the top and gets away with it. Dennis Hopper goes for over the top, gets away with it. Asia Argento underplays it, and as such, she's still a formidable presence.
Yep.
I don't know what Simon Baker's doing there. He doesn't fit.
Even the young lady who played the technician, the blonde technician in Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
I don't remember what her name, Tough Girl or Pony Girl, or I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I know the character. Yeah.
Personally, I thought she was better than the main character.
Yes.
Sadly, I absolutely agree with you that he should have been a bit more John Leguizamo.
Yeah, you've either got to play that hero lead over the top, or you've got to be the strong silent type, but you can't be the one with all the dialogue but deliver it blandly.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Robert Joy's character of Charlie was great. His friend who was the sharpshooter.
Yes.
I really liked his character.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
He was really good. I'd rather have seen him and John Leguizamo pair up rather than him with Simon Baker. That would have been more fun. What did you think of Big Daddy, the main zombie?
Because
you weren't a fan of Bub in Day of the Dead, were you?
Not particularly. I almost viewed him, although it's not really comparable, but I almost viewed him as, what do they call that? Deus Ex Machina, or whatever it's called. That machine, or that godlike force that instantly resolves a problem in the movie at the end or
Ex
in the middle.
Machina.
Yeah. I almost kind of viewed him like that, okay, we've got to get zombies here. And we've only got so much time to do it. Well, let's just do this. That's kind of how I viewed him. I thought everything else going around was pretty decent, so it didn't really affect it for me. What about you?
See, I was okay with Bub in Day of the Dead, and there's something about Big Daddy, I don't know. I get what you're saying. Yeah, they need to get the zombies from this place to this place.
Right.
How are they going to do it? Because I love the opening scenes of when the guys are out looting the towns and it's dark and you've got the zombies wandering around and all that sort of stuff. And the fact Big Daddy keeps coming out to fill cars with petrol because that's what he used to do. I like that idea. I like the way those scenes are shot. But it may be more to do with his appearance. He's got this weird makeup on his face.
Yes, absolutely.
It looks like something out of Resident Evil. Something that's been biologically created rather than he's just a corpse. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah, and I think that puts me off. I know what Romero's trying to do. He's trying to evolve the zombies.
Right.
And yeah, I get that. I don't think it's particularly done well. It just feels a little bit tacked on.
Right.
And the fact that he screams every so often and the zombies follow him and all this sort of stuff, like this hive mentality. I'm like, would a decaying brain evolve? I don't get that.
I don't either, but,
Yeah.
For me it was, okay, that's kind of odd and weird, but everything else going around it was so enjoyable for me. Yeah.
Those scenes of when the zombies come out of the water, though, being led by Big Daddy, that does look cool.
It is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really great imagery in this film. Like I said, those opening scenes with them when the town's dark, but they're lighting up the sky with fireworks, and you can see like the old bandstand zombies there and all that sort of stuff. I love all that. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. I like when the zombies finally break into the high rise and are eating the people in the furs and the Armani suits.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was.
But again, that's
well
Romero,
done.
isn't it? That's Romero at his political best, really.
Yep.
Yeah. love all that. So, yeah, I mean, I do like this film. To me, it's the popcorn film of the series. If I want to just put on a Romero zombie film, but I don't want to sit through 2.5 hours of social commentary, like in Dawn of the Dead, I'll put this on.
Right.
I'll happily sit and watch it any day of the week. I think it's a good zombie film, but
okay.
It stops short of being the great zombie film that I wanted.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. What did you think of Dennis Hopper, by the way?
Dennis Hopper was being Dennis Hopper, and that's never a bad thing.
That's never a bad thing. I do like his interactions with Leguizamo are really good.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I can picture them two in a sitcom together. Where you've got Dennis Hopper as like this big boss of this company, and John Leguizamo is just his henchman.
The copy boy, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I think that when they were together on screen, they did it really well. But interestingly, Dennis Hopper utters the word zombie in this film, which has never been mentioned so far in any of the other films.
I did not pick up on that, really.
Yeah, he says something along the lines, I hate fucking zombies, or something like that. That's the only time the word zombie is used.
I'll be a son of a gun.
Or the first time the word zombie is used, I should say. So yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, I thought he was really great in this. He was that character. He was like Joe Pilato in the last film. He's that character. They're going to get it in the end. Maybe his death could have been a bit better.
He wasn't as goofy as Pilato was in the last movie.
No. I think Dennis Hopper brings a lot more gravitas though than.
Yes.
Joe Pilato's role was just to shout and swear until you wanted him to get pulled apart.
Right. Dennis Hopper was the movie Speed. Forget about Keanu. Forget about Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper was that movie.
And let's not forget the other films in the series didn't have any major stars in them.
Correct. They were big genre stars like Ken Faree.
Yeah, but he wasn't a genre star when he was in it. He became the genre star afterwards.
I guess that's true too.
They were relative unknowns, really. So Dennis Hopper, you could say, is probably the first quote-unquote star in any of these films.
Yep. I didn't think about that either, but yeah.
Again, it's a studio film, so they want a name to sell it off, don't they? So
right. Dennis Hopper playing a crazed bad guy is never really a bad thing.
No, exactly. There's always a set audience for that. So yeah, I just wish his death had been a little bit more fitting.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. He just got blown up.
There for a while, I thought, okay, they're gonna have a good end, and then they just blew him up. I'm like, oh, all right, whatever.
Yeah. And going back to the last time when we were talking about zombies using weapons.
Yes.
Tom Savini's little cameo when he appears as Blades, the character he played in Dawn of the Dead.
Yes, I noticed that.
He's attacking people with a machete.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah, you'd think after by this point it would have been sort of 25 years of wandering around as a zombie. He might have decayed a bit more, but he looked fairly healthy.
Well, it's Tom Savini.
Exactly. But it was a nice little nod to the previous film.
Yes. Have you ever met Tom Savini?
No. I've heard the stories.
Just good or bad?
I've heard the bad stories, and I've heard some good stories.
Oh my God, when I met him. Now, he's different. He's different with fans than he is with other people. I will grant you that right off. I met him at a con one time. Mm-hmm. Absolutely the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
Just super friendly. The thing with Tom, at least at this point in his life, is he loves the fans.
Yeah.
He has not a care in the world for anyone else. But if his fans want to talk to him and ask him questions, he is absolutely 100% there for you. Yeah. When I went to the panel discussion he held, it was just him and a moderator. And at one point he told the moderator, I really don't want to listen to you. I don't care what you have to say. I want to hear what, people who came to see and talk about what I do. I want to hear what they have to say.
Okay.
But yeah, I could tell where if you're, possibly a movie, on the inside, as it were, or you're, running a con, yeah, I bet he could be a real horse's ass. But to the fans, when I went up and got a picture with him and talked to him and stuff, absolutely just a pleasant person.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. Yeah, he's one of those guys I'd love to meet him because I've been a fan of his for, most of my life, really. All these films that I grew up on.
Yep.
He's attached to in some way. So, yeah, it'd be really cool to meet him.
Yeah, and it's, but he you would find him very nice, very enjoyable.
I'd have to approach him as a fan, though, rather than, a professional, shall we say.
Yes, absolutely.
Professional.
I mean,
yeah.
But no, you could really tell because when his fans are around, nicest guy in the world. But the minute anybody who wasn't there as a guest just to listen to him and talk to him about what he does, and because he's got a super passion for it. I don't care what anybody says about him. That man is passionate about movies, horror movies, and his craft. Oh my God, he is passionate about his craft.
Yeah, I've met a couple of musicians in famous bands like that. You know, they'll speak to the industry people like shit, but they'll love their fans. So
Yep.
Why not?
Exactly.
We both know we've seen the disorganisation that goes on behind the scenes as well, so it's not surprising they get frustrating a lot of the time.
I'd get mad at me too.
Yeah, well, I got pretty mad at some of them, and I was there as a punter. So there you go.
I know. Oh, trust me. Don't get me going on my debacle with a certain big name musician. Oh God.
Is that the? Have you told me that one, or is that you and Soulfly, or am I thinking of something else?
Yes.
Oh, it is that one. Because
yes.
I interviewed that man as well.
The big honcho or the other folks?
I was down to interview the big honcho, and I ended up with one of the other folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing happened.
Yeah, I bet you didn't drive 4 hours like I did.
No, I drove for about an hour to get there.
Yeah, I drove 4 hours. And hey, the people I talked to, the people I met were absolutely wonderful. They were so nice. They took time. They were great people. I got to meet the drummer David and Tony and Mark. They were great guys. I could not say enough nice about them. They were just absolutely great people to just talk to. But, that was not why I drove 4 hours. I hate to say it.
Yeah, because I drove to Wolverhampton to see them, and I was told that I was interviewing Max Cavalera.
Yep.
And so 90% of my questions were Max Cavalera-centric questions.
Yes.
And then when I got there, I was told I'm interviewing Mark Rizzo.
Yep.
I was like, So I had to think on my feet and just try and reword some of these questions. And he was trying to rehearse, and you could see he wasn't in the mood.
Yeah. Well, I caught Mark.
He was nice. Don't get me wrong. He was nice, but yeah.
No. I actually I caught him before he started into his show mode. He was, they were. I caught him right before lunch, so he hadn't touched a guitar yet or anything. So yeah, it was again really, really pleasant guys.
Not what you were there for.
Not what I was led to believe.
No, yeah. I had this. Yeah, it's funny that we both had the same experience. Were you writing for Tinus then as well?
Yes.
Ah, right. Yeah. So was I. Yeah, there we go.
That's right. There we go.
Exact same situation, just on different continents. Bloody hell.
Yep. Well, some people, I guess, are just too big for their britches, as we say.
Well, you've never experienced proper British life until you've interviewed the guitarist from an international metal band on the streets of Wolverhampton. I was literally on the streets because there was no spare rooms in the venue, so we had to go outside. And this was sort of tea time on Wolverhampton, so there were lots of teenagers and kids hanging around the streets. And there's me with my microphone trying to interview Mark Rizzo. All these people driving, oh, fucking look at him, fucking tattoos, he thinks fucking is. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It was.
That's awesome.
I've actually still got the audio somewhere. You can just hear people in the background.
That is awesome. Oh, goodness gracious.
Anyway, where were we?
Tom Savini and Land of the Dead. And so what'd you give it for a score?
I give this a 4.
Okay.
It's a solid 4 Tom Savini machetes to the head.
But the way you talked, I would have guessed 3 or 2.5.
Yeah, it's I do like it, and I'm a bit conflicted with it. There's the sort of critic bit of my brain that goes, well, I don't like this, I don't like that, they didn't do this. And then there's the sort of fanboy side of my brain that says, well, it is a George Romero zombie film, and it is entertaining. It's never boring. So, yeah, but I think overall, I'm giving it a 4 because it still beats the shit out of a hell load more zombie films.
Agreed.
And I think the criticisms of it come from the fact that it's had 3 stone cold classics that come before it. And I think that's the problem with it. It's got a lot to live up to, and I think after a 20-year break, Romero doesn't quite cut it, but what he comes out with is still entertainingly good fun.
Let's be careful how you throw the word classic around for Day.
No, it's a classic.
I also gave this one a 4.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Solid 4 for me. Great movie. I'm still shocked you gave it a 4 because of the way you talked. I would have had you at 3, possibly a 2.5 ever.
If I were reviewing it in a proper film critic mode or whatever you want to call it, I would start picking it apart. But I've also got to base the fact of how it makes me feel once I've watched it, and I still enjoy it.
Yep, gotcha. That makes sense.
I would rather watch this than Shaun of the Dead. I'm not a fan of Shaun of the Dead, but we'll get into that.
Really? How come? Oh, okay. Yeah.
More to do with how it's perceived by other people than what it actually is. I just think it's overrated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
And it's on telly every bloody week here.
Well,
something about it over. They just show it all the time.
I'm just going to say it's Simon Pegg. You're just screwed.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get into that another time. But yeah, I still think it's highly enjoyable. It beats the shit out of near enough every other modern zombie film, certainly of the 21st century. Not to give anything away about next week, but I think a good companion piece is the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Let's not give anything away.
Let's not give anything away, but I think tonally and the way that they look and the way they're presented, I think they're both very similar films.
They're both, I'll use your word, glossy.
Yeah.
Studio movies.
Studio pictures. Yeah, and I think, say, in a certain way it helps because they do look good on a big HD screen.
Yep.
In other ways, it is detrimental because it doesn't quite fit with what we've had before. But again, I come away from it. I always enjoy watching it when it's on, and I'll probably watch it every couple of years and still enjoy it. And like I say, I can put it on if I'm not in the mood for Dawn of the Dead or I'm not in the mood for Day of the Dead. This is the one I'll put on just for a quick fix of Romero Zombie.
Gotcha.
There we go.
Cool. Very cool.
Oh, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's see where we go next.
That's right. Next up is what? Diary of the Dead.
From 2007. Let's play the trailer.
Two news agencies are reporting accounts of the dead returning to life.
What's that?
What was that?
You can't talk about it being an epidemic. Monsters being an epidemic.
What is this about, Jason?
This turns out to be a big thing. I just want to record it.
Prepared for this sort of failure, like government agencies, support organizations.
Look. It looks hurt.
It's all burned up.
The problem doesn't seem to be that people are waking up dead. The dead people are waking up.
It's not going down! Shoot in the head! No, please!
They're not getting the truth from anybody else. All that news is a pack of lies.
I'm dealing with this crisis.
Now. You gotta know that this might be bad.
I'm trying to get home to my family, okay?
Don't bury dead. They'll shoot in head.
People start running out of food, water, gas. They're gonna start shooting at each other.
Trust somebody.
What would you do? Kill us?
I think about it.
Maybe one of them got in already.
You're saying they're all dead?
Yes.
There's a hospital. There's nobody here.
This is a diary of cruelty.
Come on, before we get our asses shot off.
I can't do this anymore. Every time we walk in somewhere, somebody dies.
Right then. Diary of the Dead, 2007, directed by George A. Romero. Starring Michelle Morgan, Josh Close, Sean Roberts, Joe Dinical, Scott Wentworth, Chris Violette, and lots of other people I've never heard of. Right. A group of young film students run into real-life zombies while filming a horror movie of their own. Which is basically it, innit?
Yep, that about covers it.
Okay, this was a first-time watch for you because you thought you'd seen it before, but you were mistaking it with the Zombie Diaries.
Yes, I was.
I have seen the Zombie Diaries once, and that's about as many times as I want to watch it.
That is correct.
Very boring film, if I remember correctly.
Oh, well, yeah.
I've got the sequel somewhere. I've never watched it.
They made a sequel?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Because they could.
Jeez, oh, Pete. One was enough. And I mean, you know me. I love found footage movies, but one of those was enough.
Yeah, that is a real definition of a film of an hour and a half you won't get back.
Yes, absolutely is.
Felt fucking long, didn't it?
Yep. The only redeeming factor is it didn't have an outhouse in it. Chris, an outhouse.
Yeah.
An outhouse. Anyways.
Right.
I still can't get over that.
Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about Diary of the Dead.
Diary of the Dead.
Yep, I saw this in cinemas.
You did? Okay.
Like I said earlier on, I think this is the one I sat in. There was only me in there.
So how was the found footage aspect on the big screen? Did it help or hurt?
Neither. I don't really remember paying that much attention to it in that terms, really. It was just sort of...
Okay.
I knew what it was going to be going in, and
okay.
I'm not one of these people who sort of goes, oh, I'm not watching those, they make me feel sick. It's just... I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway... So I come out of Diary of the Dead in 2007, and I had an opinion then. I've got an opinion now. They're not vastly different.
Okay.
You know my feelings on found footage?
Yes.
You also know that when we've spoken about found footage in the past, this is one of the ones I'll bring up as one of the ones that I'll watch.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually quite like Diary of the Dead.
Really?
Well, let me be a bit more specific. I like it more than I probably would have done if it was made by somebody else.
Okay. So you still have that nostalgic George Romero hook for you personally.
Yeah. Okay. And a bit like with Land, if this was made by somebody else, maybe it would be better. Maybe it wouldn't be better. I don't know. I've got problems with it. A lot of people have got problems with it. This is the point in the series where people went, George Romero's losing it.
I could see where people would say that, yes.
Well, yeah, interestingly, though, I've watched this about 5 or 6 times over the past 10 years.
Okay.
I've got it on DVD and I've got it on Blu-ray.
Okay.
And the last time I watched it was about 3 years ago, and I sort of, my feelings of it went down. I was like, no, it's really not very good, is it? I watched it again last week, and I was quite surprised how well it's aged.
Interesting.
I think a lot of the complaints, there are 2 major complaints of this film, which you will see. You've only got to type this film into any search engine and you'll get the people's comments that the acting and the characters are shit and that George Romero is out of touch. He's hammering home the whole YouTube thing way too heavily. On the first point, with the actors and the characters, yes, they are shit. This is badly written Romero characters.
Yes, and they change. At one point they appear to be geniuses. At the next point they appear to be the dumbest box of rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The other point about Romero being heavy-handed with the whole technology thing, I think he's, what's the word? I don't want to say he foresaw lots of things, but I think the way
I thought he was spot on that aspect myself.
And I think at the time I can understand people going, well, he keeps mentioning YouTube and uploading and downloading, and he sounds like he doesn't really know what he's talking about. And then you watch it now and you think he's actually pretty spot on with the way people are on the internet. And the way everybody's got an opinion and everybody's got a critique, and if it's not on camera, then it didn't happen.
And think about it. It's a group of film students, and YouTube, for the start of the movie, YouTube was where they would watch other shorts and probably upload their own shorts. I mean, it fit right in with the characters. What you would expect the characters to do, to be honest.
And YouTube was a very different thing back then than what it is now.
Yes.
And again, the internet, everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got a voice. And I think Romero I may be giving it too much credit, but I think maybe he looked at YouTube and the internet and things like that back then and saw where it was going to go. And here we are in 2017 with the world in the state that it's in, everybody filming everything on camera. You know, you could walk out into the street now and watch somebody getting beaten up and there'll be a group of 3 or 4 people filming it. They won't stop and help.
No, why do that? I want to film it. Yeah.
That's very much everyday life now. And the way that people's attitude is towards things, towards other people in crisis. I mean, obviously, we've had our own things over here recently with the Grenfell fire and lots of other things. And you see that spirit in people where they come out and they help and they want to do this and they want to do that. But there is always going to be that contingent of people who are at the back just filming it, wanting bad things to happen, not wanting to be a part of being a part of the problem and not being a part of the solution.
Yeah, it's some weird voyeuristic kind of thing. Yeah, exactly.
And I think on that level, I think Diary of the Dead stands up probably better now than it did in 2007.
Yes. And I would actually, disagree with people on that aspect. I thought that part of it was really good. There's I know I've talked about it before, but there's a series of 3 books. It's called if I can get this with my face, the News Flesh Trilogy.
Yes.
God help me. Written by Myron. And in there, the central part of the book is that everybody reveres George Romero as a prophet and a savior, because of his work he did in zombie movies.
Yeah.
It was a goofy thing, but it was, sometimes you kind of get that about some of his movies and the points in his movies.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a weird one. I think over time it's proven to be, I wouldn't say prophetic, but certainly it doesn't feel as heavy-handed as it did back then.
Right, exactly.
So, let's put this in context with the series. This is not a sequel. Land of the Dead was a sequel to Day of the Dead.
Yes.
The events in this film are supposedly happening at the same time as Night of the Living Dead. This is the beginning of the outbreak.
Okay.
Obviously, Night of the Living Dead was filmed in the 60s, and this was filmed in the 2000s. So, but you've got to use a little bit of artistic license here.
Of course.
So, yeah, this is the outbreak. So we've got characters who don't know what's going on. They can't get any news from the TV and the radio and all this sort of stuff. But I think it's a tough one. I think Romero's trying to tap into what he did with Night of the Living Dead, but it just feels so badly written.
Yeah, I agree.
The characters aren't particularly fleshed out characters. There's nobody like Ben, who was in Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
Or Harry, or any of those guys.
You actually don't care if they live or die.
No. The lead girl in here, Deborah, I think the character's name is, played by Michelle Morgan. I think she's horrible. I think she's a horrible character. You're supposed to root for her as the main heroine, but I really didn't give a shit.
Yep, exactly.
She just strikes me as bad-tempered and downbeat and not especially well acted. Same as the male figures in this film. What's the main guy's name? Jason Creed is the guy who's filming the whole thing.
Right.
He's just an arse. He's that arsehole character who has to film everything or it doesn't happen.
Yes.
But the worst character in this is the teacher. And I'm not going to blame the actor completely. I think the lines that he was given weren't particularly good. And I can imagine that Romero said to him, ham it up like an English thespian. And he does. And it's just fucking terrible.
He actually, I hate to say this, but he was my favorite character. But I know the lines and all that stuff were terrible. But I liked, let's put it this way. I liked the idea of that character.
Yeah, and I think out of all of them, he was the only one that was, quote-unquote, a character.
Yes.
The rest of them were just, you could slot anybody into those roles and it wouldn't really matter. They were there to be done away with. Right. He was the only character. He just happened to be badly written and not especially well acted. But yeah, he's the standout because he was a character, I guess.
Yes.
But yeah, the gore in this is very CGI heavy, more CGI than it was in Land of the Dead, which is disappointing. But Romero was really gone back to his roots with the guerrilla filmmaking style in this one. He didn't have a budget. So
right.
It was done cheaply, so I get that. Again, I think it's not a studio film, it's not as glossy as Land of the Dead, but it is quite a good looking film for a found footage film. And I think that maybe hinders it a little bit. I think if it had been a little more grimy, a little bit more gritty, the effects wouldn't have looked quite so bad.
Right. Understand.
Yeah, if you'd filmed it with the same film stock as Day of the Dead, it would have looked a lot better.
Yeah.
I think.
What did you think of the ending?
What, the scene with the zombie hanging and they shoot it? That bit? Or do you mean the ending of the story in general?
Yeah, the ending of the story in general.
Well, yeah, it was always going to end like that, wasn't it? You know, it was the cannibal holocaust. Who were the real zombies? Us or them type thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was that type of thing. I can't see any other way of ending because this is the outbreak, so we know there's going to be more to come.
I guess more specifically, I found the whole mansion, their rich friend that turned into a zombie chasing around. I found that extraordinarily tedious.
It went a bit Resident Evil, didn't it?
Yes, it did, and it was unnecessary. I think it might have been more effective had they came in realized their friend was a zombie, shot him in the head, waited it out 2 days, and as the zombies came in, there's the group going into the panic room, and that's, I thought it really detracted, from the movie.
I think maybe they stretched it out a bit so they could make the use of the security cameras around the building and feed it into the found footage thing, maybe.
Yeah. They could have done that too, but they could have sped it up a little bit, a little editing maybe. I don't know what. But I just found that whole thing just so tedious. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, come on, guys.
I think part of the problem is the fact that George Romero films have always been a bit long-winded. And I think sometimes that works, like with Dawn of the Dead.
Right.
Where you've got a good story, you've got good characters, and you can make these things longer than they really would be in the hands of anybody else.
Right.
Because you're invested. And I think in 2007, when this came out, you're playing to a different audience. You're playing to a younger audience who want that quick fix. It's that YouTube generation thing. We want a clip.
Yep.
We want to watch 10 clips of zombie attacks rather than one film with 3 or 4 decent attacks in.
Right.
And I think that is maybe the biggest problem with the whole thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I actually, like I say, I found Diary of the Dead, say it's aged well, considering, and I know a lot of people hate it, and a lot of people think it's the worst thing Romero's ever done. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
No. Oh, I guess we're going next then. And I think if you're one of these people who saw it when it came out and you said, right, that's it, I'm done with Romero, I would suggest go and watch it again.
Yes.
Watch it again and pay attention to a lot of the little details, because I think it's aged rather well, but it is very problematic.
As a first-time watch, I really liked it. I liked it through the movie until we get to that tedious mansion scene. Then I'm just like, okay, I want it to be over.
Yeah, I think he'd maybe run out of ideas and was just padding it out to the end.
Yep. But, other than that, I found it a perfectly enjoyable film.
Yeah. So I've watched it half a dozen times in the past 10 years or so, and I've never hated it.
And just by my comments earlier, I didn't find the whole YouTube thing heavy-handed or ham-handed or over the top. I thought it fits perfectly within today's society and probably did within, when they came out in 2007.
I once heard somebody describe it as your granddad trying to explain the internet to you.
No.
And I think, no, it's not that.
No.
I can see why people would think that, but like I said, the way that people are now generally in society, I don't think Romero was out of touch at all. I think he was pretty much bang on the money.
Well, I mean, the word upload is common in everyday lexicon, so we can't, they can't make a case there. And if we were just to interchange the word YouTube with social media, it'd be the same thing. I mean, they're using YouTube because that was the big upload site in the beginning.
Yeah.
But now it's upload everywhere, so now they use social media, but no, it's
back
not.
then YouTube was, clips of cats falling over and things like that. Bands,
right.
Festivals and things. Now anything's on YouTube. Everything. People getting beaten up and whatever, it's all on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, there we go. So what's your rating for this one then?
I gave it a solid 3.
Fucking hell. Do you know what I gave it?
If you say 5, I'm going to fall off my chair.
Oh, fuck off. I gave it a 3 as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Bloody hell.
No kidding.
There you go. Yeah. Like I said, if you didn't like it when you saw it years ago, go back to it and watch it again with a fresh pair of eyes.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm not saying it's groundbreaking. I'm not saying it's brilliant, but I think it may be better than you remember it.
Yep.
Right then. Shall we move on to the next one?
Yes.
Last time anyone counted, 53 million people were dying every year. 150,000 every day, 107 every minute. It had become an us versus them world. All we were looking for was a place where there was no them.
Lousy times make lousy people.
All the wrong people are dying.
This island needs to be rid of them.
We like it here. We think the best way of seeing this through is here.
We don't want no place. We want some place. Like where? Like an island.
It's an island off the coast of Delaware. Come on over.
only families that ever lived on this island were yours and mine. No strangers.
What are you gonna do with them?
They're Muldoons. It's up to me to save them.
You can't save a person who's already dead.
Somebody's gonna find a cure for this.
A beautiful place to live. And to die.
There's no way out.
Will one of you give me some more bullets for this gun?
Right then, Survival of the Dead 2009, directed by George A. Romero, starring Alan Van Sprang, Joshua Peace, Eric Wolf, Sean Roberts, Scott Wentworth, Joshua Close, Kenneth Welsh, and Julian Richings.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah, more people we don't know who they are. Right. On an island off the coast of North America, local residents simultaneously fight a zombie epidemic while hoping for a cure to return their undead relatives back to their human state.
That's right.
Wow, that sounds like a good film.
Yeah, the infamous Plum Island.
Yeah. Would I be right in saying that Plum Island is the place they promised Hannibal Lecter could go?
Yes.
If he cooperated in Silence of the Lambs. Yes, I thought it was.
Yes.
Well, I didn't see him here. I wish I had.
Oh, God.
Right. This didn't get a wide theatrical release in the UK.
Okay.
I think the only time it was shown on a big screen, I think it got a Fright Fest showing, or one of the festivals, I may be wrong.
Okay.
In 2009. That was it. It didn't get a wide theatrical release, so I didn't see this until it hit DVD.
Okay.
Yeah. It's weird, this one. I don't hate it, if I can say that.
Yep.
I've watched it 4 or 5 times. I own it on Blu-ray, because I own all the Romero films. I love the poster for it. I'm looking at the poster on my screen right now. I think that's great.
Yeah, it is. Good artwork for sure.
Yeah. I had hopes for it. I don't hate it, but I don't like it that much either.
Yeah.
This is the weakest of the Romero zombie films.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No.
Did you like this then?
I found it average.
Okay.
Again, Day of the Dead is the weakest for me.
Really?
Yes.
What did you score Day of the Dead last time? I can't remember. Was it a 3?
No. I did. I scored it at 3.5.
3.5, okay.
You know, then I'm gonna...
we're gonna disagree, aren't we?
I'm gonna have to correct one of my other statements then, because I scored this one at 2.5.
Okay.
But now I don't know. I have to go back and change my other score.
You can't. It's cast in stone now. For all eternity.
Okay. Let's say this. Wow. I scored that one. Scored all 3 of those movies a 5. Did you know that?
Which ones?
Night, Dawn, and Day.
I scored them all 5.
Yes, you did. I scored Day of the Dead a 3.5.
Okay.
I will say that I liked Diary better.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go back and ponder my scores, and when I come back next week, I may have a new set of scores.
No, I've had them carved into Mount Rushmore now. Part of the Constitution.
Wow.
You can score a film higher than another film, but prefer the lesser one. That is possible. If you look at it on a technical level.
I would prefer to watch Diary and Survival over Day any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Well, if anybody is up for a lynching, Myron lives in the US. I have his address. Really?
It is, yes. It is, Amityville 2 all over again.
What?
I mean, Day of the Dead is for me. I just don't care for that one. I like Diary better than Day of the Dead, and I like Survival, as dumb as that movie is, better than Day of the Dead.
Right, let's get into Survival then. What did you like about it?
I like the stupid Hatfields and McCoys.
You like the fact that it's basically an episode of Bonanza with zombies?
Yeah, but it was like Scottish or English Bonanza people. Yes.
I think you'll find they were Irish.
Irish, okay. I should have said United Kingdom and covered myself. But
well, even then you may not be correct.
Oh, shit, I'm still not correct.
Just say Irish, that'll do.
Yeah, Irish. Who is it? The McDougalls and I don't remember what that.
The McDougalls.
I don't even remember.
Do you ever watch Father Ted?
No.
Do you know about Father Ted?
I do know about Father Ted.
Yeah, every time it was Dougal, I just think of Dougal, the stupid priest. You left Dougal to a funeral. Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, it was stupid. It was goofy, but God help me, I liked it better than Day of the Dead.
Right. I really don't know if I can carry on this podcast now.
I still like Rocky IV.
That's not going to buy you out of this.
You
prefer Survival of the Dead to Day of the Dead?
Yes. I found Day of the Dead just to be... Oh, I just don't even know.
Fucking hell. Right.
I know my scores don't reflect it, but my personal taste, I would watch Diary and Survival over Day of the Dead any day.
Right. Survival of the Dead.
Now, I have a question.
Go on.
Do you view it as a sequel, or do you view it on the same timeline as Diary, which is a sequel to Night?
Well, Diary isn't a sequel to Night. It's alongside. It's happening alongside Night.
I mean, alongside Night. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So Survival, technically, it's a sequel because one of the main characters, is in Diary.
Yes. Correct.
But I sort of view it as playing alongside Diary. When the events of that character, when he's on the island, if you imagine hopping over to the mainland, Diary is happening at those moments.
Okay.
That's the way I see it.
Fair play. That was kind of the impression I was getting.
Yeah, it's worth saying that the original plan for Diary of the Dead was a TV show, and that George Romero was going to make, a bit like a Walking Dead type thing. He was going to focus on different groups of people during the outbreaks, and that's sort of what Survival of the Dead is.
That could have been good.
Yeah. So yeah, Survival, it picks up a character from Diary of the Dead who was a soldier who boarded the bus belonging to the main kids. It's following him.
Right.
After the event, or alongside the events of Diary. Quite why we pick on that character, I don't know, because he was hardly a main... I didn't watch Diary of the Dead and go, oh, I wonder what happens to that guy.
No, me neither.
He's literally in it for about 30 seconds in Diary.
Matter of convenience, maybe?
Maybe.
Hey, George, Bob's available for the next 3 weeks. Good. He's got the lead. Let's go.
Yeah, he's obviously available for the shoot, so they carried it on with him. So this character, he's a disillusioned soldier. He goes to this island where there's two warring Irish families.
Oh my God!
As I'm saying it, I don't know. The Muldoons and the O'Flynns.
McDougalls. Where did I get McDougal from?
Father Ted. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so goofy. Oh jeez.
So the main O'Flynn guy, played by Kenneth Welsh, he's got a face that I'm sure I know, but I can't think of anything else I've seen him in. Hang on, let's just put him up here. He's in The Exorcism of Emily Rose, but I've seen him in something else, I'm sure. He's in The Void. Of course he is. Fucking hell. He's the main doctor in The Void.
Okay. All right, I'm with you.
Yes, I see it now, yes. Yeah, he gets booted off the island so that the Muldoon family can sort of take it over, but he teams up with the soldier and they fight their way back, but zombies have gotten on the island.
You're missing some classic parts.
No, I'm not. Classic?
You're missing where the other family on the island thinks that it can train its relatives to be somewhat human again.
Oh, well, I'm just getting to that. Yeah. O'Flynn thinks that the zombies should be shot on sight as soon as somebody's bitten. His rival, the Muldoon guy, thinks that it's a disease and disease can be reversed and he can train people to return to their human state.
I know.
Yeah, there you have the setup.
Which is absolutely a nod to the Day of the Dead. And I think, for me, the fact that I viewed Survival of the Dead is a more goofy comedy almost kind of thing, where Day of the Dead, I thought they were trying to be way too serious about it.
You said Day of the Dead was goofy before.
The characters were goofy. With the material, they were trying to play deadpan straight.
Okay, yeah. You could say this is a retelling of that sort of soldiers versus military thing. Yeah, it is in a way. I don't think this is a shit film. I still think that this is more fun than a lot of no-budget, straight-to-DVD CGI zombie fest that we've had over the past few years.
Right.
There are parts where it feels like a Romero film, and that's sort of good enough for me. There's some good imagery. I like the image of the zombie girl on the horse.
Yes.
I know some people don't like that. I thought it was quite effective. I thought it looked quite cool.
At least they weren't talking about white horses.
No, it didn't go down the Rob Zombie route. I don't know. This is basically Father Ted with zombies.
Oh.
I can put this on and put it in the background and just sit there and tap on my phone and look up every so often. Oh, yeah, there's a zombie there. Yeah, go back to my phone, look up again. And it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's fine. But I want more than that from George Romero. I could never, in good stead, watch the original trilogy and then bring a group of friends round who've never seen any George Romero zombie films. Go, hey guys, you'll love this. Watch the original trilogy and go, guess what he did next? And then put this on. I couldn't do that. Again,
God.
If this was a George Romero produced film and somebody else was writing and directing, maybe it would be a little bit higher in my estimation.
Right.
The fact that George Romero wrote and directed it, it feels cheap.
Well, it is.
It is cheap. But it feels and looks cheap where the others, they were, but at least they had a bit of quality to them, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, the parts that feel very Romero in this work, but for the main part, I don't know, the characters are horrible. I quite like Kenneth Welsh's character of O'Flynn. I think he was quite funny. But, yeah, I didn't like the other guy who plays Muldoon. I didn't like the soldier guy at all. I just didn't get that. I quite like the female soldier. I can't remember the actress's name. She's the
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the Saw films as well. I can't remember her name.
How goofy is it that, oh look, there's a paddle boat. I'm just going to swim across the water here and get on the paddle boat and we're going to fire that bad boy up. Okay, sure enough. I mean, it's so stupid, it's endearing to me, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. That's Athena Karkanis, her name is, the actress, yeah. She plays one of the soldiers, yeah. I thought she was quite good. Yeah, I don't know. I can't hate it because it's a George Romero zombie film.
I just found it.
If this was a special feature on a big box set of Dawn of the Dead or something, as an experimental film, then I could forgive it. The fact that he put this out as one of his main features, I don't think it's good enough. I don't think the story's strong enough. I don't care enough about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. This is, I don't know, I might call it over here, we have a term called kitschy. Have you ever heard that term?
Yeah.
Where it's so tacky that it's kind of charming in a way.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't say charming, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly, I thought, okay, I like Diary. I'm gonna hate this one, and I didn't hate it. I found it entertaining.
Okay.
But, you know, as far as filmmaking goes, there's whole lots of problems.
I don't think the quality is there from Prime Romero. It feels slapdash.
No.
Say there's a couple of good shots, like the zombie girl on the horse and things like that. You think, oh, that's Romero, but
you can tell even in Day of the Dead, there was care and craft and forethought in every scene that he did in that movie.
Yeah.
Now,
well, Romero himself's always said that Day is his favourite.
Survival, it
feels like an afterthought. Someone said to him, "Hey George, make another zombie film quick as you can."
Yeah, exactly. It feels like a weekend project. It turned out well, but it's just not your best work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so you scored it 2.5.
Yeah, even though personally I enjoyed watching this much more than Day of the Dead, But I would certainly say that Day of the Dead, as a film, with the care that was put into it, and the effects, and top to bottom on the technical side, is head and shoulders above Survival.
Okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying. All right.
Have I redeemed myself in some respect?
Well, I'll let you off then. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. A bit like me with Land, really. I enjoy it.
Yes.
But on a technical level, it's not up there with the best.
Yes.
Okay. So you scored it 2.5. Do you want to know what I scored it?
4.
I just clicked onto my letterbox page now. I scored it 2.5.
Has this ever happened?
We scored the same on all 3.
Has this ever happened?
I shall read you the blurb I put on Letterboxd. But even the weakest Romero zombie film shits all over the rest of the direct-to-DVD zombie crap that constantly misses the point. To be honest, I like this a little more than I did when I first saw it, and the Blu-ray does look pretty good. Yeah, it does look good, actually. But the acting is very poor, even by Romero zombie movie standards. Not sure if I prefer this to Diary, and neither hold a candle to the original trilogy, but it's not the total car crash it's often made out to be. I wrote that in about 3 years ago, yeah.
That you are still right on point with that feeling. You have not changed.
Yeah, I'm pretty much there, yeah. Again, I'll just put it on in the background and I'll look up every so often and go, yeah, okay. But I'll never dedicate an evening to sitting down and watching this like I would with Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. No. Dawn of the Dead is absolutely. I am. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the 6 Romero films then. Are we going to rank them or are we going to wait till we do the remakes next week?
Let's wait till we do the remakes. Let's get all sorts of fun in there.
Yeah, that could be interesting then. Okay.
Yes. So,
overall thoughts on the second trilogy then?
I'm embarrassed to say this, Chris. I liked them more than I thought I would. I really did. I'm not the hugest zombie fan.
Yeah, I know you're not yet.
But I thought they were going to be worse than they were.
Okay.
Because all you hear, well, I shouldn't say that, and this is an overgeneralization, and not everybody says this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you often hear of the Romero arc that went from the ultimate high down to the shit pile, and I think that's not a fair characterization of these movies.
Okay, yeah.
They're not Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not the shit pile that I have heard people claim that they are.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that he set such a high standard with that original trilogy. It's like the Star Wars films, you've got the original trilogy, you're never going to compete with that again, no matter what you do.
Yes.
So, yeah, I get that.
And especially with, the 1960s Night of the Living Dead, and then you come up with that banger of a sequel, Dawn of the Dead. I mean, that's it's...
Yeah, that's lightning striking twice, that is.
Yes, it's like Terminator and Terminator 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the rest of them are they're not great, and some of them are better than others, but, they're just not at all where they were.
Yeah. And it's weird that I think this trilogy has aged, like I said, surprisingly well.
Yes.
Usually with a lot of films, you can watch and you might like them or dislike them or whatever, and then 10 years later you'll watch them again and either go, oh, that's better than I thought, or that's worse than I thought. And I think these 3 remained fairly consistent. I think they're still where they were back then. I think Diary's aged a little better because of the technology aspect to it.
Yeah.
Which is unusual because usually films that are based on technology don't age well. So, yeah, I think that's quite pleasing. They're not as good as the original trilogy. They're never going to be in any way, shape, or form. But
right.
I think they've stood the test of time fairly well.
You're going to be hard pressed when you have classic movies to beat them, and you just
and social climates change, and the movie landscapes change, and audiences change, and all that sort of thing goes on. We know that. So yeah, interesting. So next time we're going to look at the 3 main Romero remakes.
Right.
1990's Night of the Living Dead, 2004's Dawn of the Dead, and 2008's Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead is a Steve Miner, correct?
It is, yes. I think we're going to have fun with that one. And, yeah, I think we'll have fun with Dawn of the Dead. You haven't seen any of these, have you, apart from Dawn?
Correct.
Okay, so that'll be interesting.
Matter of fact, I didn't even know that they did a remake of Night of the Living Dead.
Wow.
until you told me about it. Yep. No, I didn't. No clue.
There's actually quite a few remakes of Night of the Living Dead, which I'm sure I'll touch upon next week because I've got a few of them here.
Oh,
okay. But the main one that you and I will talk about is the Tom Savini directed one.
The who directed one?
Tom Savini.
Ah, okay. Yep, that's right.
Yep. There's a few others. There's Night of the Living Dead Reanimation and Night of the Living Dead Sid Haig in 3D and all this sort of other stuff which we'll mention. If you can get hold of them, I'll be happy to discuss them with you.
Okay.
I actually have a Region 1 DVD of Night of the Living Dead 3D, which has got Sid Haig on the front cover with a pitchfork.
So how excited were you when you found out Sid Haig was going to be, when you found out he made a remake of Night of the Living Dead?
I was ecstatic. You would not believe the erection I had for days and days and days.
And then you watched the movie?
And then I watched it. Okay. More of that next week.
But, that is the Chris wheelhouse. Okay, we have one of his favorite characters, Sid Haig, and a zombie movie.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, never say that.
Find out next time.
Right.
All right, we got no feedback this week because everyone's bastard and they don't like us.
That's right.
I did put a call out if anybody had any feedback and nobody did, so I'm guessing nobody liked these 3 films very much.
Well, you know what? In fairness, they should give them a try.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, if you haven't seen these films, give them a try.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't go into them expecting Dawn of the Dead redone, but take them for what they are.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So, interesting question since we don't have feedback. Have you been listening to any new podcasts lately?
I've got a couple on my iPod, but I haven't listened. I don't listen to as many as I used to because my work situation's changed. So, no, but I have been following Dunk on the podcast Under the Stairs, doing his look at Hellraiser films.
Yep, me too.
Which has been. I'm glad he agrees with me on Hellraiser 4. I didn't know how he was going to go on that one, and his opinion was pretty much the same as mine, so that was good to listen to. And he likes 5 as well, which is good. I quite like Hellraiser 5.
I figured you would be all over that one like White on Rice.
Yeah. So I'm just looking forward to hearing what the Baz makes of the Texas Chainsaw remake.
I've been enjoying the hell out of that too.
Oh, sorry. Talking about Texas Chainsaw, Fright Fest in the UK is showing the new Leatherface film this summer.
Are they really? Are you? You're going to go to Fright Fest this year?
I am, but I don't think it's showing on the day that I'm there. I'll be Fright Fest on the Saturday and Sunday, and I think they're showing it on the Friday.
Oh,
which is a shame. But they are also showing the new Chucky film. Curse of Chucky? I can't remember what it's called now, but the new Chucky film.
Cult of Chucky,
which is, I think will be playing when I'm there, so I shall try and get to see that. They're also showing the new release of Return of the Living Dead 3, because that's getting a Blu-ray release not long after, so that's been remastered, so I should try and catch that. And they're also showing that Kane Hodder documentary as well.
Ah, okay.
So hopefully I'll be there for that as well. So,
is Death House going to be showing there?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the full schedule yet, so I've just looked at the highlights. But so if anyone's going to Fright Fest this summer and you want to come along and punch me in the face, then you can. I shall be there on the Saturday and the Sunday, so get in touch.
Very cool. I discovered a new podcast that I found that I find entertaining. It is, believe it or not, another Scottish one, Scott and Leah versus Evil, that I'm really enjoying.
What's their angle?
2 Scottish dudes talking about horror movies.
Okay. Who's that? Scott and who?
Scott and Liam versus Evil.
Okay, I shall add that to my list. Right, yes, I shall make a note of that. I shall give them a listen.
That's been the newest horror one that I've added.
Okay. One for you then, maybe, if you want to listen to the Smersh Pod.
No, I've never heard of that one.
Smersh Pod is covering all the James Bond films.
No.
Yeah, but he gets a special guest on every week to talk about them. I did try and apply to go on to talk about one of them, but somebody else got picked, unfortunately. But they're very good. They come out every week.
Somebody got picked over you to talk about Bond?
I know, it's disgusting, isn't it? But yeah, download all of them. Pay special attention to the Moonraker episode, because that is fucking brilliant.
Well, I may have to have a word with John Rain.
Okay.
I'm not happy about this. You should have been picked.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yes, I am. Well, Moonraker is it is one of the ones I enjoy the most from a nostalgic point of view. So I will definitely clue in on the Moonraker episode.
Yeah, he gets Al Murray, who's a British comedian, on to talk with him on that one. So that's really good.
Yeah, it's The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker are the first two that I saw in the theaters. And so, I mean, they're very, I know Moonraker is just stupid. I see it. I know it. But I can't.
But I love it. It's still one of my favorites.
I know. I just can't get over that. I just love that stupid movie. When they started coming out on DVD, it was the first one I bought.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Whenever I've bought a new box set of him, Moonraker's always the first one I go to.
Yes.
On DVD and Blu-ray.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, Smirsh Pod, that's cool. So yeah, give that a go. You'll like that one.
Oh God, yes, I will. I'll be in hog heaven.
Cool. So there we go. I think that about wraps it up for this time then.
Yes, I think it does.
I think it does. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can do so via email at ancientslumberpodcast@gmail.com, or you can catch us on Twitter at ancient_slumber. Next time we will be talking about the 3 main Romero remakes and a few other little ones in between. So until then, I think it's time we say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
What's in the bags?
Money.
Whose money?
Watch out! Get down, quick! Ours. Yes?
Kaufman.
I'm here. I just did something that I might not have done otherwise.